Hello, my friends. It is time for Resurgence, which I need to update on our plan of attack. It is formerly what we used to talk about as the invasion event. We've actually changed the name. So anyways, welcome everyone. It is our fifth already. Wow, our fifth early access developer stream. My name is Catherine. Hopefully we've spoken before. Let me just update this real quick for any of our newer folks who might not be savvy to this. Okay, so we launched our Resurgence event today, and I'll be going over, oh my gosh, Surgence. I'll be going over how that works in just a moment. First off, that was the only thing that was in today's patch, so I just want to be clear. Normally would be going over patch notes, but the Resurgence event is our patch for this week, so no surprises there. Okay, there's one more thing that I've been wanting to do ever since I learned how to do this 5 minutes ago, okay? Will you guys give me just a second? Ready? Okay. Because this is a big deal. This is a big event. Okay, yep, I'm gonna do one of these. All right. Oh, yes. Ready? It's time for Resurgence. Okay, gotta zoom back out. I will be triggering it on the NA1 server, so if everyone wants to load into the game and just get everything all set, we'll be good to go. If you are not familiar with it, the Resurgence event, which we still are calling Invasion there, is an open world event where the Chimera are making a new push. So that is the Resurgence, so to speak. They're coming back and they're angry. And it's also a new way for you guys to obtain imprints and gear. This is a presentation I went through last week, so I don't want to spend too much time going through it, but I will just highlight these points really quickly just to revisit the most important pieces of this event. So before all of the Chimera come in, each waypoint shrine is on an independent timer between 6 and 48 hours, and that's random after each invasion happens. So I know that we launched the event somewhere around noon, and around 2 or 3, people still weren't seeing the first Resurgence event and worrying that it was broken. It's not broken. It simply is just, it takes 6 to 48 hours for each shrine to trigger, and so for the first round it looks like all of them were set to that minimum of 6 hours. But one thing to keep in mind is that there are, I believe, 29 teleport shrines per server, and the way that Resurgence works is it's on a independent rolling operation between each little mini server. So it's not like everything is synced within NA or everything is synced within EU. NA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they all each have their own set timer that is a part of that sub-server. So each one of those 29 altars is on this cycle. So think of it as the invasion or Resurgence event itself doesn't take between 6 and 48 hours for you to experience each time. It's just you won't fight that same shrine until that next time period rolls around, if that makes sense. I hope it does. If you need any clarification, please just let me know in chat and I'll pop over in just a second. Anyway, so when the shrine is under attack, we're going to send an announcement out. You'll be able to see that it's coming, and you'll have 15 minutes to start donating a bunch of gear to the local commander and spawn town guards. So those town guards are going to help you defend against the incoming invasion, and everyone is doing this together, so all of that gear that you donate is communal. If you're working with your friends and they're all contributing stuff, everything is helping. So guards are going to appear for every local tier times 10 tiers worth of donated equipment, which is kind of confusing, but basically it means that if I'm in tier 2, a sum of 20 total tiers of gear need to be donated. So if my friend donates a tier 2 and I donate a tier 8, we're already halfway there. Okay. During the invasion, the attack overall lasts for 5 minutes, and there are 3 waves. So the first is just local Chimera. Local Chimera are just sort of the Chimera that you would find or expect to find in that area anyways. Then the next is a Mage Chimera, It is sort of similar to our elite enemies. It's bigger than a normal Chimera, and they spawn a bunch of them. And the mage is able to heal each of those local Chimera. And finally, the third wave is the biggest, and that is the artillery or the siege Chimera. And they have 3 different attacks. You can see here a lobbed attack, a 3-wave shotgun attack, and a radial blast that just goes out in general. So you can see it's sort of split up. Some of them are going towards your local commander, which is ultimately who you're trying to protect. There is one that is just goes between aggro of different players, and then one that is completely non-discriminatory. It just is shot out in this radial blast and doesn't really aim at anything specifically. If you are able to successfully defend the shrine, everyone is going to get a tier-appropriate piece of gear with a guaranteed affix on it, which is pretty awesome, and you can use that to get imprints. But if he's been defeated, that waypoint shrine will be unusable by everybody for 60 minutes or an hour. So basically, if a tier 2 shrine goes down, you will not be able to teleport to that specific one for 60 minutes. In case I went through any of this too quickly, or if you want to revisit any of those details, we've also made a post here on the Survive By website. We have a news section, and you can come visit that. And we have this cool graphic. Yeah, it's awesome. This cool little graphic, and you can revisit a lot of these facts. And of course, the same post is also found on the Steam forums and on our officially supported forums. So, I will get the game ready, and let's trigger the invasion. So yeah, the invasion is going to be a red pop-up chat text. Kind of like when it'll say, you know, the world tree shudders as if in mourning. It's like that, but it appears in chat and it's bright red, so it's a little bit easier to see. Okie dokie. We're all set here. Let me make sure this is looking right. Collect today's daily reward. Grab that silver. Ooh, yes. Oh, speaking of rewards, actually, I'll come back to it in a minute, but we sent out our rollback rewards yesterday. So there was a rollback on, I believe it was December 28th that happened. We had a rollback 12 hours because of the cheating issues that we ran into where the economy got messed with. So if you were impacted by that, we're definitely really sorry about that. It's not something we ever want to happen ever. And so we have awarded all players who were impacted by that with, I should double check, but I believe it was 45 bloodstone, 1,000 electrum, and 10,000 silver. So that should have been sent to your in-game mailbox. Again, you will only get that if you were impacted by the rollbacks. No need to have reported it or anything like that. We do have backend tools that we're able to check who logged in during that period of time, and we can see and make sure that everyone got what they needed to get. So let's hop in. Ooh, Chris Kringle? Do you think he's the man for the job? Let's make someone new. Why not? So, oh, let's come up with a cool name for him. How about, oh, that's a new bug. Huh, okay. Do not press backspace on the character names, I've discovered. Okay, how about this? I'm gonna be Chimera Slayer. Oh. Okay, don't hit backspace at all, not even once. Hopefully someone on the team is watching that and we'll be able to help out. But, all right. Whew, got it. Let's pick a class here. I'm feeling Alchemist. Also, it looks like Joker J has recommended that you can go in and reset everything by going to the defaults, and maybe that'll fix the issue. So I believe that that is something that the team knew about, so hopefully that includes that backspace issue. Okay, Do I have anything good? Let's see. I'll go to the top of the food chain. Nothing. I've got a couple that are already in use, both for the Sentinel. Maybe I should have picked the Sentinel. All right. I'm going to grab this one. Chimera veteran. That's what's up. All about the Chimera here. Okay, we'll go down to common. Do chain reactions. That one's fun. Do follow-up just for the heck of it. All right. And pick a skin. Wow, I don't play Our Friend the Alchemist very often, apparently. I don't have very many of these unlocked. I feel like because of the nature of the event, we should be thematically appropriate. Exiled. That's pretty cool. Kind of like this one. Deviant, maybe? I'll buy that with my cash money. All right. This is a great time to log into the game. I will trigger the event, and everyone has 15 minutes to donate that gear. So basically you have 15 minutes until the event starts, and that makes it an even better time to hop in. All right, let me see if I've got anything here. Oh, rollback rewards. Looks like I was affected. I will take those gifts. My daily rewards, gotta claim those. Good stuff. All right, I gotta look cool. So I really want to get the Eye of the Chimera attachment because I have to. And I don't want to slow things down. I know some players were talking about how if they were on screen with too many people who had too many things equipped, it would potentially slow things down for them. So just in case, I'm just going to stick with my Eye of the Chimera. And let me double check actually which server I'm on now that I've made my character, just because I want to double check that everyone knows which one to join. All right, so it looks like I was on NA5. So if you guys want to join me, you can just go to options, server select, and let's all just hop on NA5. Hopefully things won't get too overloaded and too crazy. All right, go back in here. So I'm gonna try triggering this event right away, just because it will take a little bit. So, aha, oh, I just got teleported there, that works. My shrine will come under attack in 15 minutes, please help. Okay, so here's our local commander. There's one next to each of the shrines. So there is a peacetime local commander, and the peacetime local commander is basically there to help out when the invasion isn't going on. He'll point you in the location of the nearby dungeons and things like that. My character isn't going to have any gear on them because I kind of got zapped over here before I was ready to. So if everyone just wants to meet me here, this is where I'm at. I guess I have time. Yeah, you know what? I have time. I'll hop back to the tower and I'll grab some stuff if I have any in my vault. Otherwise, I can just craft something, perhaps. Looks like I'm missing some stuff. I'll have to check that out. Crafting vendor. Do I want to do anything? I kind of want to save some of my money. But I'll get some stuff just so I have some gear to contribute to the event. So actually I'm gonna buy a couple of these. So remember, the number of overall tiers is sort of added together, and that will help determine how many of our guards are going to be spawned in. So that is local tier times 10. So we are going to be in tier 1, which means that 10 tiers of equipment is going to spawn 1 town guard. So I'm gonna grab a few more of these. And another one of these, why not? Okay. Oh, it's looking cool. All right, I've got plenty of time. Just run back over here. So you can only donate gear to these guys. So you can't give them like consumables or anything like that. It does have to actually be gear. Is it this one or, oh, it was a different one. It was down here more. Keep running. Yeah, I think it was this one. Whoop. Or maybe I'm crazy. I hope not. Uh-oh. Oh no. It would be really awkward if I got melted by these Chimera before I made it to the shrine. And there are the coordinates in here too. I know the team was talking about trying to pick something that was a little bit easier to direct folks to where the invasion was going on, as opposed to just coordinates. Oh no, it was a teleport shrine. Okay. I have to... just have to keep running. Go back to the nearest road. Zoom. All right. Back on the road so I go a little bit faster. No, leave me alone, guys. Gotta go fast. Oh, there we go. That's where I want to be. Looks like the road cuts across here. It's okay. We're just taking a little tour of the Heartlands. We're just exploring. Going for a stroll. Yeah, it looks like a couple people are already over there, hopefully donating some gear. We can get some friends in to help defend us, of course. And just down the road. Ooh, someone just died. Big earthquake. Okay, here we go. Here's our friend. Hello, local commander. So I'm going to give him my staff and my other staff and my other staff. Hopefully this is all actually being given to him. Yeah, there we go. I've got so many of the same item, it was hard to see if it was disappearing. All right, so I think I donated, it was at 5. So I've got half of a town guard right now. All right. So it shouldn't be too much longer until the invasion starts. All right. Yes, CJ Bale, that is usually what those earthquakes mean. In fact, I think it's always what those earthquakes mean, is that someone dies. So the higher level someone that dies, the more that earthquake is going to shake the screen and the more of an impact it is going to have. Oh, I've got some new friends teleporting in. Brock the Rock Gym Leader. Amazing username, first of all. And yes, it is very, very inspired, I think, by the Eye of Sauron. I like it. It's got the spooky goat's eye type of cross in the middle to look like a chimera. Did you know, fun fact about goat's eyes, did you know that when they like tilt their heads, their pupils like always stay the same direction? So like their sockets like roll in their head to always remain upright. Fun fact about goats for all y'all. Okay. You're on NA5 with a different group. That's so weird because I definitely checked and I'm on NA5. Why am I an expert on goat eyes? I don't know. I just like watching those weird Facebook videos that pop up and you learn something new every day. Yeah, it's possible, I suppose, that there were enough people on the server that folks were bumped onto a new one. I don't know. I don't see a lot of people, but it's possible that they're all in town right now and everyone's kind of just clumped on top of each other, so I might not be seeing that. But we have at least a few people here just hanging. NA2, I wonder if that's true. Hopefully not. Or it's okay if I am, as long as we all are sure that that's what it is. Yeah, because I can't go to server select here, so I can't double check again, but I saw NA5 on server select, so sorry about that. If it is NA2, then hop onto that one and check it out. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to bamboozle anyone, I promise. Still got lots of time before it starts. Oh, everyone's got the cool wings, man. I feel left out. Gotta go give myself some of those later. Yeah, those are so cool. That's like one of my favorite attachments I think we've ever made. Thank you, Fond of Deer. I appreciate it. Awesome. He's even got the matching swirling energy above the head going on. That's pretty cool. Spoiler alert, there is perhaps a third part to that set that may or may not have been released yet, so there might actually be more. Oh, I see. So it looks like there might be a bug according to Bread Slice. That's definitely something to look into that might make those servers look a little bit misleading. Oh gosh, I hope that there aren't too many of us. It looks like some of the folks who were experiencing server crashing earlier might not have had PCs that had the high enough specs, basically. Based on some of the behavior that was going on, we're inclined to think that that's the case as opposed to the servers itself being affected. So I'm on a good enough computer where we should be okay, but if anything happens, I hope everyone can keep fighting the Chimera together. This is exciting. There's so many of us. It's like the old days of Heartland Horrors. Someone made that point earlier in the Discord, and it's totally true. We could do another Heartland Horrors sometime if anyone wanted to. It's been a while since we did that. That was fun. And we've definitely added enough new content since then where we have more stuff to pull from. We could create more weird beasts together, so that could be fun. I don't know where this hairless Catherine meme came from. I'm like totally not in on the joke, but that's okay. A pizza boss, that would be amazing. Well, we have all the meat shield skins, so it only feels appropriate that we would have the ultimate pizza boss. Oh gosh, our creative director is probably sitting there squirming in his seat at the idea of putting something canon that's pizza related into the game. He would kill me. Alright. Should be soon. I'm excited. This is going to be my first Resurgence event. I hope all y'all gave him a lot of gear. I see a few guards. We've got a couple friends in here. Is that 3? Unless maybe someone's standing in front of one. That's all I can see for now. 3. Y'all gotta pay to stay. I hope no one's just hanging out. Pay up. Give us all your gear. Oh my gosh, someone gave him 20 tier 1 bows. Well, that's good. Thanks for contributing to our war efforts. Oh, it looks like we just got another one. We're up to 4. Oh, we've got a little sneaky peeker. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. We're just back here hugging. Yeah, join the cuddle puddle. Yes. We appreciate our friend. That's right. We appreciate you and your efforts. Thank you, Town Guard. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. You're up to 5 now, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I see 5. It's kind of like a game of Where's Waldo. It might be good if we could, at some point, put like an indicator above those guys, just so that they stand out a little bit more apart from the players, so it's easier to see how many we have. That might be a good idea. Sharian says that we're the guards who are here to guard the guards that are guarding the guard. That is a very good point. Yes, the local commander is the most guardy of them all. There's a lot of us here. This is like, what, 30 people maybe? I've always been bad at that stuff, like the guess how many jelly beans are in the jar by looking at it. I could see this maybe being like, well, yeah, maybe like 20, between 20 and 30 people. We'll be able to take this thing down, no problem. I hope. Danger, danger being sneaky with the alts. See you. I like the blue hot dog. The blue bun really goes well with the wings. It's so beautiful. Wabbajack, unfortunately, I cannot force trigger any sieges for a tier specific area. That's not something that we have the magic powers to do quite yet, but it's something that we will have the magic powers to do soon. So this week, of course, we are doing the invasion at the tier 1 space because that's what I can trigger automatically. But in the future, it's always possible if we wanted to at the end of each dev stream to do like an invasion together, where I could trigger it a little bit early on and you guys could sort of gather stuff while I'm finishing up my normal information giving seminar. We could totally make that happen too, and then we could pick which tier we wanted to play. But for now, I'm only able to trigger tier 1, which is okay because now that I've made the magic happen on, what are we? We're on NA2, right? That basically means that from here on out, this server is going to be rolling out all the different invasion events on each of the 29 or so shrines. There's still some squad members coming down the road, so it looks like we might even have more people joining us soon. Ooh, it's almost nightfall. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if by nighttime. It's totally how that goes, right? I took 5th grade history. I wonder, well, okay, we can only have a maximum of 8 town guards, but I wonder if we can make it up to 8 by the time that the event actually starts. That could be fun. People stuck in the wood wall. Is that true? Hope not. Our boys! Our brave boys! Oh no. Oh no. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I was not ready. Leave my family alone. I love these guys. They're just perched so dutifully. When will my husband come back from the war? Just longingly looking out. Yeah, so this is, I believe, our first wave of Chimera. It should be pretty chill. They would all be Chimera that are local to the area, so nothing too scary here, but because we are in tier 1, so it would be the Chimera that you would expect to see in tier 1. Imprints, fam, that's the point. Okay, I'll have to see. I'm excited to see the Siege Chimera come in. We're so strong. We're just like rolling through this tier 1 invasion here. Picking up some crafting materials though. Not bad, not bad. Ooh, it's a bunch more. Everyone's so much stronger than I am. There's probably all kinds of level 25s here and stuff like that, so I'm sure even for just a smaller group of us, we're pretty OP right now. Bring on those siege weapons, though. So, just as a reminder, by the way, each one of these first 2 waves is going to be 60 seconds long. So, it's just going to be a minute per the local Chimera and local plus mage Chimera. And then once we get to the really spooky part of the siege, which is when the big like weapons will be rolled in and the catapults, things like that, that will last for that will last for a bit longer at 180 seconds, which is 3 minutes. Yeah, we're strong. You guys don't even need me. I could just hang out. I'm excited for when we are going to be defending like some of the crazy tier 8 shrines and stuff, and this is going to be so difficult. But yeah, we are definitely aware of the lag issues even beyond this current event that's happening right now. And we'll be looking into that. We have it all ticketed up and things, but with the number of players that are in here right now, plus the event itself happening, it might just be a little bit too much, so. Oh, randomness. Randomness is an advocate for the Chimera. They don't want to hurt the Chimera. Maybe they're just really misunderstood. Maybe that's all it is. Bring on the siege weapons. Oh, did it get destroyed already? Oh, nerds. It got wrecked before I could even enjoy it. Heck, we're so strong. We're so strong. Next time we do this on stream with this many people, as soon as I have the ability to, I think we're gonna have to go to like the really powerful ones because we're just melting this like crazy. We are too powerful. Well, the good news is all of us are definitely going to get a piece of gear with a guaranteed affix. At this point, there is almost no question. I don't think it's possible for us to lose. We've got all kinds of reinforcements, and there are just so many of us who are all so strong that I don't think we're going to lose. So there's still time left to the invasion, but we'll have to see. Such a squad. Oh, look at all these materials, though. Yes, pull up. Gotta grab all these things. Yeah, this XP being shared, it looks like I gained a level 2. Alright. We must be pretty close to the end by now. They're just doing, like, the triangle of pain over here. For the next time that a siege weapon spawns. Oh my gosh, they don't stand a chance. Alright, siege is over, so we can claim that reward. So that is right here, the loot bag, which is going to appear next to the local commander. I got a bow. I'm just going to go back to town really quickly. And let me check out what's in my inventory. Take a closer look at it. Alright, so I got a triple shot huntsman's bow. So that's fun, actually. I want to try that out. So, because we were in tier 1, that means that we are going to get a tier 1 piece of gear. And that also means that if one day we were all playing in tier 8, for example, we would be getting even higher leveled stuff, so that's pretty cool. Especially with a large group, it's definitely a good way to get that stuff. And then if you want to, like it looks like a lot of people are doing here, you can take it to the craftsman and you can dismantle it, and you can get that affix, and then the affix can be applied to a weapon of any tier. So it's a really good way, even if it's in a tier 1 area, you can really help create some better stuff. So actually I'm going to go back to the main menu really quickly. And let me swap characters. So I want to play as a Herbinger. And try out this new bow. Alright, I'm just gonna grab the first couple legacies I see, because I just want to test out this new weapon right away. Let's grab that one. And we'll go with Chimera Nemesis. This is one of my favorite skins in the game, this Midnight Strike. So spooky. What is he hiding underneath that spooky cloak? Alright. Yeah, we definitely want to fix the guards on the walls too. That's not any good. For anyone who was in there, what affix did you guys get? I'm really curious. See what everyone was able to pick up. Let me just take some vitamins real quick so I'm not quite as squishy. Withdraw my triple shot. Huntsman's bow. Zoom, 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 zoom. And equip it. I'm excited. Tri-shot's gonna be pretty awesome. Yes! Ooh, that's good. This person got energetic boots, looks like. Healing boots? I'll say healing boots. Okay, well that's pretty solid. I always like the stuff that has like cool bullet patterns. That's always my favorite. But yeah, any affix is a good affix really, so I'm just excited to have something. So again, now that this shrine has been defended, that means that everyone will continue to be able to use it, and the next shrine could trigger at any point. It's between 6 and 48 hours, so who knows? It's sort of a surprise. That's kind of the fun of it. Of course, you can also sort of hop between servers and try and find where an invasion event might be going on, but in general, that is what you can expect. And I think that someone said that on average, you can probably expect between all of the shrines in any given server that something would be going off roughly every 2 hours. So, ooh, triple shot knives and a wavy pentabow. Those are also very good items. Okay, Windblade. Catherine, even if Invasion was just released, what can you say about the next update? Rework of legacies, pets, guilds, etc. Okay, that is a very good point. Let me see if I have this all written up still. I have a list of everything coming soon. So make sure I don't forget anything. In general, things for this month, I can tell you that we're going to be looking at relics and quests. Those are two of the really big things. So I know our artists have been working on some really awesome stuff for that. I don't know if I have any of it right now to share with you guys, but it's something that I can definitely have ready, I would think, for the next stream next week. I can bring some of that for you. I believe that it will be, today's the 10th. All right, so the 16th of January is a big update week, and the 30th of January is a big update week. This is normally sort of our off week, but because Invasion came out today instead of last week, it's sort of a little bit of a bonus. Oh, you see this? We've got one of our event consumables here dancing around. That's funny. Okay, so the 16th is going to be a big release, and I believe right now the plan is to have relics come out on the 16th, the relics rework, and then the 30th, I believe, is when we're targeting more of the questing stuff. So yes, I will try and show you guys as much of that as possible, and certainly get more of the specifics out about those things as soon as I can. But I'm very excited about those updates. As far as things like pets go, I will say that pets are going to be out a bit farther just because We have a lot of systems that are already in the game that we really feel could use some reworking and some reconfiguring, and we want to be able to address those first. But also, Ancestral Legacies are going to be coming much sooner than Pets, which is good, but we're expecting that to be in a few months, maybe 2 or 3 months. It's a really, really big rework because it also includes all of the subclass stuff, and it's not just limited to legacies. It'll impact the way that we do affixes, perhaps how we distribute bullet patterns and things like that on gear versus Ancestral Legacies, and we'll be changing a lot of that type of stuff. So it should have a pretty widely impactful impact. I can't say impact twice. You get what I'm saying. Okay, so I have 20 minutes left. Obviously, there probably will not be another invasion happening in the next 20 minutes. So if anyone has questions, I would be really, really happy to answer those, just because I think that's probably all that will be happening for the actual invasion today. Let me jump back over. All right. Yes, so questions. I will take what I can. Let me just make sure in the meantime that I haven't missed anything from Twitch chat. In case anyone is tuning in a little bit late, I do want to make sure that I repeat one more time. We did send out our rollback rewards this week. So it was actually yesterday. If you were impacted by a rollback on December 29th or 28th, it was the 28th, we had to roll back everything by 12 hours. We wanted to reward everyone for having been impacted by that, so everyone was sent a pretty hefty Bloodstone / Electrum / Silver reward, and you can go pick that up from your mailbox in town. Okay, let's see. Mighty Wolf, do you plan to do something with the dungeon level restriction or HP scaling? That's a really good question. So that is some feedback that we've definitely gotten from a lot of players. Basically, like now that we have made it more difficult with a larger group, they also want to see more rewards to come with that, and basically for players to feel more incentivized to still play in a group. So I will say that I believe the individual enemies in a dungeon scale by 80% per player, if that sounds right. So it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. It's not like for every one player in the game and then you add a second player into the dungeon that everything is suddenly twice as hard or 3 times as hard. It's like 80% harder every time. So it is still technically easier to play in a group for sure. But we're also looking at ways to incentivize players to be the person who actually unlocks the dungeon with the key, just because right now we do have some campers who kind of hang out and wait for that opportunity to arise and then just seize it. So we're looking at different ways that we can do that. And as far as the restriction goes on levels, we're also looking at trying to find a way where you might be able to play with your friends as long as they're on your friends list. We're trying to figure out how this might work because we want players to be able to play with each other regardless of level if they want that person in their dungeon. Remember, the purpose of this change was mostly to keep griefers out of dungeons. When someone would go into a tier 2 dungeon and they were a tier 2 player, we don't want someone who's level 25 swooping in, rushing past everything, killing the boss, and then leaving, because that's not any good. So that was the intended purpose, and we are working out now the details on how to try and balance everything else out. So if you do have thoughts on that, of course, sharing them to the forums is always the best place for that, and I will take a look at it and make sure that it gets ticketed up and passed on, and we can see what can be done about it, for sure. Party up option is definitely in the plans, just parties in general. Parties probably should come before guilds, just because a party is simpler than a guild. And so I would certainly imagine that, yes, things like party and guild would override that, especially if like a friend list would. So we'll have to see about that. Okay. I don't know if you answered, but were we inspired by Realm? So actually, Survive By is inspired by a lot of different games. A lot of our like affix, suffix types of things was inspired by Diablo, for example. If we have any Diablo fans here, we love Enter the Gungeon, we love Realm, we love a lot of different games. There's actually some World of Warcraft elements in here, a lot of things across a lot of different genres, which has been really interesting, but we're all very avid gamers ourselves, and so when we make anything, you know, you're always influenced and inspired by all of the different types of media that you've consumed in the past. So for sure, everything has kind of come together and made this our own little version of all of our favorite games, Survive By. Are candy cane missile consumables meant to be removed? They should still be in there. We definitely didn't like take them back after the event or anything like that. They should still totally be in there. So if that did happen, we can restore that for sure. ETA on endgame content. So hard to say, just because right now we do want to focus on a lot of the stuff that impacts players at all points of the game. So again, Ancestral Legacies. That's going to impact everybody. Moment-to-moment gameplay, relics, things like that, that's going to impact everybody. And actually, moment-to-moment gameplay is something that we talked about today in a design meeting. Ways that we can try and make every time, like minute that you are in the game feel more exciting. Whether that's by adding more maneuvers for the player to finagle with when they're running around, like a dodge or something like that, or looking at ways that we can change the way that the player's bullets behave, different things like that. We have looked at all kinds of different alternatives and options, and we'll be going through and trying to pick some of those out, because we definitely want just the core mechanics of the game itself to feel good. That being said, obviously endgame content is still a priority, still on the table, and so yes, we will be adding raid dungeons and things like that for sure, but we really want to, especially now in early access, be tightening up a lot of the stuff that we put into the game earlier on, just to make sure that it's the best version of its thing that we can be. All right, let me see if there's anything else. Will there be even bigger bosses, like a big boss that just kind of appears and like an open world event? So that's kind of the idea behind Invasion. The idea is that it's a whole bunch of baddies coming in, especially the siege weapons. I know that for the folks who tuned in on stream, it probably didn't look as intimidating as it could be, but I assure you we definitely scaled things up. So remember, that was probably balanced for a group of, you know, I don't know, 6 to 8 tier 1 players, right? So especially at the higher tiers, once we do like a tier 8 invasion or something like that, it's gonna feel way more difficult. So things inspired by Invasion, other open overworld events are totally reasonable, I think. Okay, let's see. Bread Slice, I might be missing something, but if you are looking for a good game design book, I like A Book of Lenses by Jesse Schell. If you're into that kind of thing, that's a good one. They're definitely on Amazon. Are we going to partner with a company like Camu later down the line for anti-cheat, or are we going to do our own anti-cheat? So, fun fact, we actually have an anti-cheat system in the game, but for one reason or another, for several reasons, it isn't currently... It's turned on, but it's not 100% active. So if a player's cheating, we're logging it, we're registering it in the back end, but we aren't doing anything like automatically banning players or anything like that. So we are building all of the infrastructure for that, and I think that we're just sort of putting the polishing, finishing touches on it, and then we will put it out there. Dungeon puzzles requiring teamwork would be nice. Yeah, so that's another thing that we were looking at in today's meeting. We were kind of checking out different ways that we might be able to put more stuff in dungeons or in the overworld that would feel more punchy or more exciting. So Oh, I don't know. Maybe on top of the ziggurat, where normally we would have the sin event down in the tier 3 deserts. Maybe on top of that, there would be like some crazy boss that would always be there for you to fight, and like there would be something desert themed around there, and you know, for each individual area to have its own unique threats. It's totally something that we've talked about, where you would have to work with other people to get through it. You'd have to make more decisions while you're moving through the content to make things a little bit more both mechanically interesting and team-based difficulty go up, things like that. So there's plenty of potential for that, and I think that especially as we're tightening up a lot of our existing core systems, that's something that we will be revisiting, and certainly at some point in the future. Tilted Pixel, that is definitely the intention. We don't want to add more broken things on broken things. That is never the goal. But sometimes I know that we'll put out a hotfix and something else will break. That is sort of the nature of very iterative, very fast-paced game design on our smaller team, and we always work to clean up those bugs as quickly as possible. Is a heater a foot away from me blowing on me? So actually I do have a heater next to me, but it's turned off. I don't know if there's some weird background sounds, but it's freezing in Wisconsin right now. We had like a weird, unseasonable week where suddenly everything was like 50 degrees and it was like a weird spring, and now I think today it's back down to like 5 or 10 degrees or something like that. And it's freezing in this room, so it's real cold. Schulmeister, thank you. Thank you for rejoining us. Very exciting. Raytail, I definitely agree that we should focus on systems that we can try and incorporate into our endgame content. That's definitely the goal. So as we're going through and we're improving these systems, we're looking at adding things to the game that might be more interesting out in the environment that we could incorporate back into our endgame content. It's definitely something that we're keeping in mind. More plans to bring the lore more to the forefront of the game. Yes and no. I know that the creative vision for Survive By has always been that you would pick up on a lot of the lore through things like item descriptions, reading things from the cartographer, looking at sort of the history and map of the Heartlands, but also that it could be found even in the art of the game itself. So if you look carefully at things in the tower, maybe you'll find certain pieces or people or cloths that you'll also notice in different homesteads all the way out in Tier 3, the desert. You know, there's definitely an indication that there's been trade and travel throughout all of the Heartlands by the folks who are now inhabit the tower, especially since everyone throughout the Heartlands was forced to move inward altogether. You would sort of expect there to be a culture mix, but there's also some of that in the dialogue of the enemies. I think it would be great if we could bring some more of that to the forefront. I think that that's something that we may eventually do over time, especially as we incorporate more new events. It'll be something that inevitably will start to sort of piece itself together. But actually, the lore is surprisingly deep. I know that, like I said, it's not all like out there just to read, but it's pretty complicated. So I think it'll be really exciting because as we are maybe giving up little pieces of it, you'll be able to look at the game and you'll be like, oh, I've totally seen that symbol here, here, and here. That makes a lot of sense, you know, things like that. So I think that'll be super cool. Tilted Pixel, yeah, we're in Madison, Wisconsin. So yeah, I don't think a lot of people expect the Midwestern United States to be any sort of hub for game development, but there's like a surprising number of game studios in Madison, Wisconsin. So it's bumping. There's a lot of places here. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, Bread Slice, look at the symbols. The deeper you really dive into all the tiny little details in this game, the more you'll really be able to piece things together. But like I said, read the descriptions on gear. Make sure you've read everything from the cartographer. Pay close attention to what the bosses are saying to you. And as you're running around and you're looking through the different buildings and things like that, kind of note the distinct styles of each area and then where else you see those patterns echoed. And actually, there's a lot of things that you can pick up, I think, just from doing that. Bread slice, I can't confirm or deny. We're going to leave that up in the air for now, at least. ASDF puzzles would be fun as long as you can't grief them. Yeah, definitely. The last thing we would want is to put something out there that players who would maybe finish that puzzle before would be able to abuse. So that's something that we're a little bit careful about doing just because of the nature of Survive By. You know, it's not a linear single player experience, of course, in which it would be very, very easy to incorporate things like puzzles because it is open world, because anyone can access any area at any time. It's like, you know, things aren't persistent for only one player. It's like if something is true for one person, it's true for everybody. So if you've just completed a puzzle and the puzzle's solved, it's not like it can only be solved on your account and then everyone else has to unsolve it. You know, we'd have to kind of reconfigure how we would do something like that just to fit some of our other systems in game that do track things individually. So I've got about 5 more minutes. As far as what's next, like I said, things like relics and quests are going to be probably next up on the docket from everything that we have planned so far, and I will definitely update you guys on the forums as soon as I have more information about that, especially with the relics rework. That's something that we definitely want to make sure everyone is on board with and that everyone is able to follow. We put out a post similar to this called Charmed, I'm sure, and that is on our Hot Topics forum that explains how charms work, so I will put together something similar then for relics. Rachel, are we going to make enemies Are we going to make enemies tankier? Oh my goodness. I think the game is always going to be going through a balance cycle, and so if there are enemies in an area that shouldn't be melty and they're feeling a little bit melty, then we'll make sure. But of course, if you're you know, level 25 player and you're running through tier 2 areas, like it should be easy to make them explode. So all right, I think that's all I've got. It looks like those are most of the questions from the chat. Of course, if you have any questions about Invasion or anything else, you can always feel free to reach out to me on the forums. Thank you guys all for logging in. I seriously appreciate it. You know where to find us. We have a Discord that is discord.gg/playsurviveby. You can also join us on our official forums, that is forums.surviveby.com. We have a Facebook. We have a Twitter at PlaySurviveBy, and finally, you already found us on Twitch, so good job there. And I will see all of you next week. Get questioned and look out for those invasions. Bye-bye.